Right then, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this program on Own Your Next. This is an inaugural program, and thank you for being here. And so, what we're going to do is, I'm going to brief you on something very interesting, and I'm sure you will love it. There's no doubt on that. And also, you will realize that this could be a transforming time for you. It could be a transforming time for you. All right, then before we start, let me just share with you a presentation and a brief one. Right then, Aunia next. It's me, Deepak Kumar, and I'll be taking you through this program over the next 75 minutes. I'll be with you. I'll be listening to you. Mostly I'll be listening and responding to your chats. It might be a little bit of statement coming in from my side mostly, but then I'll be listening to you through your chat boxes. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you, I'm going to share with you I'll introduce you to this program. I'll also share with you the maps. This is the model that I've created, and this is a model that will help you to develop self-leadership, and also will help you document some of the vision statements for yourself, and will talk to you about the journey forward. Now, so about me, I'm Deepak Kumar, and I've created an ecosystem that helps people to move from the current state to a desired state. The stack that helps you, move from here to there is includes a SaaS model that I've created and are backed up by some level of experts. I'm also currently pursuing my PhD in design thinking and startups. So this is where I stand. My expertise lies in high potential talent development. I am into design thinking interventions. So I've done considerable level of projects, trainings, and certification programs, lots of them. I'm also in startup mentoring and development. So I mentor a significant amount of startups in this field. In terms of milestones, I would have done more than 120, 110 design thinking projects, as 1,500 hours of coaching, and I would have certified more than 50 people in design thinking. Before I move ahead, just give me a minute. I will be putting this on YouTube. I had to put this and I just forgot. Um, हेलो। हाँ। अच्छा। मैं एक प्रोग्राम में हूँ। मैं फिनिश करूंगा 9:50 9:30 तक, देन आई गिव यू अ कॉल एंड हेल्प। या मैं घर से कुछ एक प्रोग्राम कर रहा हूँ ऑनलाइन। हाँ। श्योर। ठीक है, डन। ओके। हाँ। ठीक है, ठीक। ठीक है। ओके। श्योर, आई विल बी देयर। हाँ, हाँ, आई विल बी। ओके। All right, then I'll start again. So hello friends, welcome to the program on Audio Next. We're going live on YouTube also. Friends, thank you for being here. This is an inaugural program. I'm sure you're going to love this program. And I'm also very sure that people who are watching on YouTube, you will also tend to enjoy this program a lot. Now, this is an inaugural program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a little brief on what I'm going to share with you. But do share me your inputs also after the program. Yeah. So let me start with the presentation. So on your next. On your next program is being presented by me, Deepak Kumar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce, there will be an introduction to the program. We'll be talking about the maps. Maps is the model that are created, which will help you in developing self-leadership capabilities. Also, we'll be documenting some of the statements that how would you like to see yourself in a given period of time and the journey ahead. So these are the four things we're going to talk about today. Let me introduce myself. Friends, I have created I'm Deepak Kumar and I've created an ecosystem that supports people to move from a current state to a desired state. Okay. And the stack that helps people to move from the current state to desired state, it includes the SaaS that I've created. And also I'm backing it up with an experts who are great in this, who help really have got considerable level of expertise. I'm also pursuing my PhD in design thinking and startups. I'm into high potential talent development and so I've done a lot of design thinking interventions. I've startup mentoring and development projects I've done. So these are some interesting things I've done. Milestones over more than 110 projects, design thinking projects, over 1,500 hours of one-to-one coaching and team coaching. So that's the level of expertise that I have. I would have certified more than 50 people in design thinking. Now, this doesn't include, I've not mentioned that I've also considered a level of project done over 60 projects in Six Sigma. So these are some milestones. I'm also certified in quite a few things. If you see, I'm a master practitioner of design thinking. I'm a certified NLP trainer, a coach from International Coach Federation. I'm a Six Sigma black belt and a certified manager for organizational excellence. Uh, Lots of them. Enneagram practitioner of appreciative inquiry. So you can reach me out at 9824004199 and Deepak at flowingriver.in. So these are very interesting coordinates. Do reach out. I've got two websites. One is flowingriver.in, another is goalsinu.com. Both of them will share with you the details. All right, then, everybody. So our learning outcomes. So you will be in this program by the end of the session, you will be able to identify next level contribution in your current role. Secondly, you will be clear as to what needs to be done to be successful. You will be very clear. Thirdly, you will be able to create an ecosystem that to achieve the next level contribution system. Next level contribution system. And fourthly, you will be owning up the next phase of life. So these are interesting outcomes that you will have. So next level. So whatever you're contributing now, so you'll be moving into the next league and you'll be very clear exactly what needs to be done and how do you create an ecosystem that will help you go there. So interesting for you. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. Yeah. So we will appreciate few things that I really want you to do is that I want you to go to goalsinu.com. So going to goalsinu.com, you'll be accessing this website that I share over here. Now this particular website you'll be accessing over here. And then join us so there is a section called join us over here. This one, you access this section and then fill in your details. Fill in your details. You'll arrive here, fill in your details. Here there is a drop down and you'll get three options: admin, trainer, and user. Choose the user section and submit your details. I'm sure you're going to. Once you do that, what happens is that you join into our system, and when you join into our system, we will have plans for you. It'll help you document everything. It'll help you remind you everything. And it'll help you. You will be having online coaching support for next 3, 4 months. Okay. So and that's free of cost, obviously. But if you want to have one-to-one coaching, we're going to talk about it a little later. So as we're going to start, here's the thing. So write down two possible outcomes that you want in your professional role, and also write down one professional outcome you want in your personal role. Now, this I have already shared with you in a mail that I've shared with you, that you have to come with prepared with these three possible outcomes, two in your professional and one in your personal. I hope it is ready. And you know what? Maybe just take a minute or so those who have not done it can document it, and we'll wait. So let's wait for a minute and see how it moves, how you have done it. So this will become a reference point for you. When we arrive at another set of outcomes that you will see, you can actually compare and then you will see how effective it can be. Done? So your role is also going to shift. Remember that your role is going to shift from a role occupier to a exceptional contributor. That's how you will be moving. Well then, I'm sure you would have done it. So let's move ahead. The comfort trap. So you'd have by this time you'd have been in your role for some level of time, occupied, busy, not having time. I'm sure you'd be going through all these kind of stories right now, isn't it? So I want you to answer this question for me, for yourself, not to me. Are you busy, really busy, or exceptional? Yeah. And secondly, if your role disappeared tomorrow, what would be missed? Suppose you're working there in that role as a sales guy or as an HR guy or an engineer. You're working in a role, and tomorrow that role disappears. What will be missed in that particular role? Yeah, do you get it? Something shocking, isn't it? We have never thought about it. So think about it. What would be missed? If you want, you can share your inputs in the thoughts in the chat box. We can listen to it, and we'll see it and we'll respond accordingly. Good then. Yeah. Some people would have really thought that, I never thought about it. What would be missed? I've been doing so well in this company and I have really done it. And just a minute, I've really done it. And it can be a shocker for you. I can tell you that. It can be a shocker for you. Good. Think about it. You must be written it and we'll come back to it a little later. So here's the story. Here's the thing. Uh, Imagine you and your colleague have applied for the position of your manager who is being moved up. Your colleague got selected and you did not. Why do you think that would have happened? Why do you think that would have happened? He would have been as good as you, or you are as good as him, if not better. But what made him get promoted and you got stuck? And that's the transition. And that's the transition that we're looking at. Own Your Next is about that turning point for you. Is that turning point for you? Moving from a level to the next level, from your current level to the next level. And that doesn't come easy. The ecosystem needs to support you. The ecosystem needs to support you. What's the ecosystem? We learn about it. That's the story. Done? So Own Your Next. Welcome to this program on Own Your Next now. So I'm going to straight introduce you to the concept that I've developed. It's called the MAPS, or the MAPS. M for stands for mindset, A stands for audience perception, P stands for projection, S for stands for self-image. Mindset, audience perception, projection, and self-image. And that's what we're going to talk about it today. So we'll start with mindset, and over the next 10, 15 minutes, we'll do it for every section. Right? So let's talk about it. And I think what I'll do is I'll leave the presentation over here and let me have a conversation with you straight on. You know? All right then. Just a minute. Now, the first section that we're going to do is mindset. So what's mindset? Think about it. What is mindset? Yeah? If I ask you another question, what type of mindset is desired for you or desired? What kind of mindset is desired? So let me share with you a particular situation, and then maybe you can imagine. Now we'll take about a sales guy, and then we'll move it. We use that sales experience, and we'll move it to the cover the entire map section. Okay, so let's start with this. Here's the sales guy. The sales guy is working over the last 5, 6 years. He's been working in sales. He's a sales executive, frontline executive. And now suddenly what has happened is that the new sets of target has come for March, April, for this new financial year. And the targets are like 30% high. It is very high. And he's started realizing that it's very difficult for him to reach. He is beginning to realize that he may not be able to achieve it. What is his mindset? Now, suppose if he were to decide to become an exceptional contributor to his organization, What is the kind of mindset you'd require to achieve that 30% jump in the targets? Do you get it? Do you see the shift? Now I'm struggling. The 30% hike is going to be tough. That's one mindset. The other mindset is if I were to become an exceptional contributor, what next? What should I be doing? That's another mindset. Think about it. I'll give you a minute or so. Think about it. Huge target. You're having difficulty to achieve it. What is this kind of mindset? Then, huge target, and you say, I want to be an exceptional contributor over here. What is the kind of mindset? Do you see the difference? So let me share with you my thoughts actually, So what is mindset? Let me just, think about, tell you what this. What is mindset? See, mindset is the way you think about yourself, your abilities, and the challenges that are in front of you. Is the lens through which you see the world and decide how to act. That's mindset. So I'm sharing it with you again. Mindset is the way you think about yourself, your abilities, and your challenges. It's the lens through which you see the world and decide how to act. And what is desired mindset? What's the mindset that you should desire to become an exceptional contributor? You need to have a growth mindset, believing that you can learn, believing that you can improve, believing that you can adapt to it. Its values, its effort, the resilience, the openness to feedback rather than fixed limits. So, the kind of desired mindset you need is a growth mindset, is the believing that you can learn, improve, and adapt. Its values, its resilience, its effort, and the openness to feedback rather than fixed limits or fixed boundaries that in which you are operating. So that's the kind of desired mindset you need to have. So this mindset of, the sales guy from feeling challenged to becoming an exceptional contributor is the shift that's going to happen that I do my job. Okay, fine, I'm doing my job, but I'm shaping an impact. I'm shaping my impact, you know. From doing my job to shaping my impact, it's that transition that you're going to make. It's a huge transition that you're going to make. All right? But in growth mindset, remember, so you always have this question to yourself. Whenever you feel challenged, challenge yourself. Do I see challenges as opportunities to grow or as threats to avoid? So if you see challenges as opportunities to grow, wow, you have arrived. And if you see threats to avoid, you need to shift. So for the sales guy, for the sales guy who was struggling, who feels that 30% hike is big number, big trouble, I won't be able to do it. To thinking that how can I become an exceptional? How can I shape myself or deliver so that I become an exceptional contributor here? It's going to be an amazing shift. And that's mindset. And that's mindset. Is the owner here when you that mind shift happens? Remember only one thing, one big thing happens, which we all want to take it up. It's called the ownership. So ownership, because there is a very interesting saying, ownership begins when the job description ends. Even I was, I really love the statement. Ownership begins when your job description ends. So if you just stop thinking about your job description, think about the ownership of your role. So let me summarize with you. So the first of the map segment is called the mindset. M is for mindset. And so what is mindset? Mindset is the way you think about yourselves, your abilities, your challenges. It's the lens through which you see the world and how to act. And the kind of mindset that you need to have is something called a growth mindset, believing that you can learn, you can improve and adapt it. Its values, its resilience, and the openness to feedback rather than fixed limits. So do you get it? That kind of mindset that you want to move from I'm doing my job to shaping my impact. So just imagine if you're in HR, if you're an engineer, if you are in IT, if you are in marketing, how do you move from doing my job to shaping my impact? So we're up with M of the maps. We're moving into the second one, which is called the audience perception. In the next 15 minutes, you will be talking about audience perception, what it is, how it can become a great leverage. So take a minute, let's settle down and talk about audience perception. So when you are working in your organization, so as a sales guy, like I was talking to him, I'm taking an example of a sales guy, or you're in HR, or you are a functional head, the first question that you need to ask yourself is, are you working alone? No, you're not working alone. Even if you're in front line, you're a sales executive in the front line, you are not alone. There are external stakeholders and there are internal stakeholders, and they are your audience. They are watching you. They are watching every move of yours because why are they watching you? Because they are being impacted by your output. And over the years, they have developed a perception about you, isn't it? Think about it. Even when I was working and the stakeholders are there, they had a perception about me. Or if I'm a part of anybody's system, I have a perception about the other people. Or when I'm here, I'm delivering to you, you're watching my presentation. Still, there is a perception you have about me. That's the audience perception. So what is audience perception? You clear about it? What kind of perception people have about you as on date? So what's the kind of perception people have about you as on date? Think about it. Just write down three, four words. So, good, impulsive person, great, good to work, good to know, good to have. What kind of perception people have about you? What kind of person perception is desirable? Isn't it? What kind of perception is desirable? And where is the gap you're seeing? So the perception that you carry right now and what is the perception that is desirable? You see the gap? It's very simple, isn't it? Very simple. Whole lot of thing is over here. Remember the sales guy example that I was talking about? I'm sure his manager has a perception about him. His distributors would have a perception about him. The retailers have a perception about him. The persons in the ecosystem in which he is operating have a perception about him. For a sales guy, what kind of perception is desirable? Think about it. So let me share my thoughts now here. Now, audience perception is how others perceive you, interpret you, and respond to you. Your communication style, your credibility, and your presence. It's essentially the image you create in the mind of your audience. Remember that. So, what's audience perception? Audience perception is simple. It's the way others see, interpret, and respond to you. Your communication style, your credibility, your presence is essentially the image you create in the minds of other people. That's audience perception. Now think about it. Most of us wouldn't have bothered, isn't it? And we hardly bother. We only bother when you tell that let's please talk it. Go and talk in public, do a public speech. Then you get bothered much. Otherwise, no, there's not much of bother. But the you know, question is what kind of perception that you desire? A shift from negative perception to a very positive perception. So, what would a positive perception be? What would a positive perception be about you? A perception of trust, clarity, and confidence. You want your audience to feel that you are authentic, reliable, and aligned to their needs, isn't it? So, that kind of perception you would desire. So, I'm again share with you your perception that of trust, clarity, and confidence. And you want your audience to feel that you are authentic, you are reliable, and you are aligned with their needs. That's the kind of perception you want, isn't it? Come to think about it. What else kind of perception do you want about yourself? Oh, you can also say, like somebody has just mentioned, I want to be seen as a person who can deliver. That's trust. Yeah, trust, clarity, and confidence. So the key question always you should ask yourself when it comes to audience perception is that how do I want my audience to feel when they interact with me? How do you want the audience to feel when they interact with me? Did you think about this before? Not much. So when for the sales guy whose target has just got risen by 30%, how should he be speaking? What's the kind of perception he should have? He should be able to generate in front of his manager. Do you get it? A person of a person who can deliver, a person who can, even if it is a tough time, he can deliver, a person who is promising, a person who's confident. That kind of um, perception the sales guy needs to deliver. So if perception, very simple, if perception desire drives opportunity, are you managing it intentionally? Can you manage it intentionally? Of course, for this you need to be very emotionally intelligent. It just becoming uh, what do you call uh, if you want to be very about audience perception, when you want to be very clear about it, you need to have what is called the emotional intelligence skills. You need to understand how others feel about you and how others should feel about you. Any questions on this? I hope you're clear on mindset, you're clear on audience perception. That should be good. So let's talk about the third one in the map section. Mindset, audience, MAP. P is projection. So we'll talk about projection in a minute. Settle down, relax, and see, regroup what you have just learned. We'll come back. 30 seconds. All right, then let's start. So, projections. Over the next 10 minutes, all about projections. So, by this time, you're aware about the mindsets, you're aware about your audience perception. The next thing that becomes very important is how do you create a projection for yourself? That which will drive perception. So, how do you create a projection for yourself? The question is, let me ask you one simple question. What is the projection you are creating right now? What is the projection you're creating right now? And what is the projection you want to create? And with the kind of projection you want to create, how will that help you? You get it? Let me share with you my thoughts. Let me share with you my thoughts. So, what is projection? See, projection is how you present yourselves outwardly. The image, the energy, the confidence you project to others through words, tone, body language, dressing. So, projection is how you present yourselves outwardly. That's projection. And what kind of projection you would desire? A projection of clarity, confidence, authenticity. You want others to feel your presence is consistent, trustworthy, and inspiring, isn't it? That's the kind of projection you want. That's a shift that you desire. A projection of clarity, confidence, and authenticity. You want others to feel your presence is consistent, trustworthy, and inspiring. How many of us have really thought about projection about self? Hardly anyone. My experience in interacting with so many people, people have hardly cared about how they want to be projected, how they really want others to see them. This, the projection that they are creating for others in front of others. They feel it's cool. Nothing is cool. In professional space, nothing is cool. You need to create a projection about yourself. Remember the sales guy? The target has risen by 30%. Now, what's the kind of if you were not much aware about projection, what would you say? Oh my God, 30%, right? I won't be able to do it. You will tell your man, I won't be able to do it. It's very tough, sir. Please, sir, 30%. Don't give me 30% hike. Reduce it to 15%. Remember, what's the image you are projecting? Or you can say, okay, sir, you've given me 30% hike. I take it. But I'll need your support. What's the kind of support? And I'll share with you the kind of support I need. Is that okay with you? What's the kind of projection you're sharing? A projection of clarity, confidence, authenticity. You want your manager to feel, listen, I can deliver. You can count on me. I'm consistent in my approach and I'll help you in achieving your target also. So that kind of projection from a neutral stance to a very positive stance, projection is essential for you. Now, projection without arrogance, it's a strategic visibility. Remember this. If you create a projection for yourself without arrogance, it's strategic visibility. Think about it. I hope you're clear about it, about projection. So, in nutshell, if you are in sales, if you are in HR, if you are in marketing, you are working with the CEO or you are a head of department, you are creating a projection of about yourself. The question is, what is the projection you're creating? And do you think that's the projection you're creating, or there is something very significant you're trying to create? What's the projection? In your career development, the projection plays a very, very vital role. But all right, then we are done with map of maps. The last we are left with is self image. S is for self image. Take a minute or so, relax. We'll come back to you on this. Start with this on self image in just a minute. All right? Yeah. All right, everybody, welcome back. Self image. Now, what is self image? Think about it. What is the kind of self image you want to create? All right, so let's do one activity. Just complete this sentence. I'm a kind of professional who is, complete the sentence. I am kind of a professional who is, give me some examples. See, very interesting example has come. I'm kind of professional who can be counted on. I'm kind of professional who is trustworthy. Okay, good. Many thanks. Many thanks. So the key question that you need to ask yourself if you want to see about your self-image is the way I see myself aligned to the way I want others to see me? Yeah, that's the question you need to ask yourself. So let me share with you my some thoughts about some inputs about self-image. So self-image is the way you see yourself, your identity, your strengths, your potential. It's the inner picture that guides you to act and show up in the world. And I asked you, what kind of self-image do you desire? So what's the kind of self-image do you desire? A positive, confidence, and authentic self-image, one that reflects your values, embraces growth, and aligns with the leader or profession you aspire to be. Yeah, that's the kind of self-image you need to have. You know, the sales, continuing with the example of the sales guy, what's the self-image the sales guy needs to create in front of his manager? A positive, confident, and authentic guy. He can deliver in spite of the growth, in spite of the challenges in the market. He can deliver. That's the image, self-image you also need to have. You get it? Sometimes what happens is self-image is very important. What we do is we miss it. I remember one of the occasions in my early days of my career, self-image was one of the things that was never a part of my thought process. When my manager told me something very interesting, he told me very simple. You need to have a need to have a self-image of a business manager, which means when you're going to a person place, you should be able to talk, display confidence. You should be able to display positivity. You should be able to display authenticity when you interact with your distributors, with other stakeholders. That's kind of business manager I need. And that's kind of self-image you need to have about yourself. I'm not joking. That's where I worked on. And that's where I told him. He said that if you have that kind of self-image, that kind of projection also you will create for yourself. And when you have that kind of projection that you create for yourself, you know, audience will have a perception about you. And when audience will have a perception about you, the audience like the stakeholder distributors, the team, their mindset will shift about you. Isn't it a lovely correlation? I'm going to share with you again. When my manager said you need to have a very positive self-image about yourself. For me, self-image was the last thing, I've done. Work is very important. No, the self-image is very important. How are you seeing yourself, your identity, your strength, your potential? And the day I decided, and he was very clear about it, then I decided that I need to have a self-image where I can deliver. I'm a confident guy. I can do things. I'm an authentic person and I can deliver. When I started having this self-image, I started projecting myself like that because my body language moved, shifted. My conversational tone shifted. Again, I'm sharing with it. That impacted the audience perception also, isn't it? And people start thinking, oh my God, I listened to something very amazing. This guy can deliver. He's pretty confident at what the way I see him. And when the audience perception changed, the mindset also shifted. So what? He's young. He will make a mark. And that exactly happened. That exactly happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, maps, the model that I've shared with you, the mindset, the audience perception, the projection, and the self-image, it's also correlated. It's also correlated. And that's the model that you need to have about yourself. And you deliver that. When this model gets integrated within you, you start delivering. Remember, there is no shortcomings within you. It's just a perception shift. Everybody is great in this. I must tell you, people who are underperforming should not have, whose self-image has been destroyed. We need to just work on your self-image. If I work on your self-image, you will your self-image, take your self-image to a desired level that you want. Your projection will also change. When the projection changes, your the audience perception about you will change. When the audience perception about you will change, the mindset about you will also change. Simple. That's the model I'm working with you on today. I'm sharing with you. It's amazing and it can deliver. Yeah. So let's complete some examples. Let me complete some examples. Just take a minute or so. Let me give you a couple of examples that will help you design your statements, visionary statements about yourself. Or you call the map statement about yourself. So how do you do a map statement about yourself? So take a minute. Let's relax. We'll come back to you on another 5 minutes, 30 seconds. So let's start with the first statement. You know about the sales executive. So what is the first visionary statement? This I'm giving you an example. Yeah. The first example that I'm giving you, I'll give you two examples. According to the sales executive, my managers are appreciating the work I have created and managed the distributor network and are making it the benchmark others need to follow. It is giving me immense confidence to deliver more. The first visionary statement he has created. What's the visionary statement? Look at it, read it. My managers are appreciating the way I've created and managed the distributor network and are making it the benchmark others need to follow. It's giving me immense confidence to deliver more. Simple. You in the initial stage, you could have said, I want to have a good distributor network. That is one thing. Look at this distributor network. Do you see the maps in action? The mindset, beyond performance, targets, growth mindset, audience perception, how managers are doing, appreciating, projection, created and managed. This is a projection you have done creating. The self-image of a doer, excellence. You see this? Look at the second one. So there is one guy who actually reached out to me that he was struggling on presentation skills. He wanted to have inputs. So I helped him first understand how do you see yourself as a presenter. This is the statement. I'm enjoying giving presentations to the management and feel so happy in the way senior management is engaging during the presentation. I'm enjoying. What is it? I'm enjoying giving my presentation to the management and I'm feeling so happy in the way the senior management is engaging with me in during the presentation. Do you see the mindset shift? Do you see the audience perception? Do you see the projection he's trying to create? He's creating? Do you see the self-image? All in action. All. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the two examples that I've shared with you. This is my example. Your example is yours. But what I want you to do is, I want you to, I want you to think about your presentation skills. I want you to think about your visionary statements that you want to create. Three of them I've given examples. I shared with you over here. I'll be approving your case here. Go to the vision document. I'll send you the details. Document all the three of them over there and submit. We'll come back to you on that. So now, if you see this vision statement and remember the ones that you carried on their homework, I gave you as an assignment. Do you see a difference? So how do you create an ecosystem that will help you in achieve? That's what it is. So thank you so very much for this presentation. We will be coming back to you more on this and we'll do some activities. I hope you really enjoyed this program. I think and do share with me your inputs, your thoughts about it. We'll come back. We'll have more discussion next time in 2 weeks' time. A wonderful program again on this. On your next. With this, thank you so very much. We'll touch base again.